What Senator Johnson has proposed, and I voted for it repeatedly, says, look, if you're deemed an essential employee right now, you're working, but you're not being paid. Senator Johnson's bill says, we're going to pay you. I voted for that. It also says if you're furloughed, if you're deemed to be non-essential, then you're not working, but you will get paid once we come out of this shutdown. Does that make sense?
We should make sure that every federal worker gets the paycheck that they are owed. And the right way to do that is for Republicans to finally join us and get serious about passing a bipartisan CR so we do reopen the government and prevent healthcare costs from exploding. Instead, the bill that the senator from Louisiana is asking for unanimous consent for actually lets Donald Trump and Russ Vought decide who they want to pay during a shutdown. President Trump has said he will only pay the people he wants to. He literally said, and I quote, "We're going to take care of our people. There are some people who really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way."
Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana's statement wasn't just an expression of frustration. It was a glimpse into how far some Republicans are willing to go to defend chaos over competence, loyalty over leadership, and political games over governing responsibly. Senator Patty Murray, a Democrat from Washington State, made that clear. Her objection wasn't political theater, it was a defense of fairness and constitutional checks on power. The bill Kennedy pushed wasn't a genuine attempt to help federal workers, it was a Trojan horse. It would have handed Donald Trump and his administration the authority to decide which workers get paid during the shutdown and which don't.
You either think that we're more important and smarter and more virtuous than the American people, or you don't. And I think we ought to be treated the same. Now, having said that, I said I agreed with what Senator Paul said. I'm just worried his name on the bill is going to get knocked out of the park. So I'm going to put it in my name. Let's do what, it's not Senator Paul's bill, it's Senator Ron Johnson's bill. And what Ron Johns, we call him Ron John, I'm sorry, Senator Ron Johnson from the wonderful state of Wisconsin. What Senator Johnson has proposed, and I voted for it repeatedly, says, look, if you're deemed an essential employee right now, you're working, but you're not being paid. Senator Johnson's bill says, we're going to pay you. I voted for that. It also says if you're furloughed, if you're deemed to be non-essential, then you're not working, but you will get paid once we come out of this shutdown. Does that make sense? That's what Senator Ron Johnson has proposed. And as I told my good friend Senator Paul, I agree with him. Senator Paul's name is on that bill. It's going to be vetoed 6 ways to Sunday. I'm going to try to put my name on the bill. Maybe it'll get passed, maybe it won't, but I think I have a better chance than Senator Paul. That's just my personal opinion. It's not meant to be personal. So, for that reason, Mr. President, I tried a third way. It's not my preferred way, but we got to get out of this mess. I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of calendar number 191 S302, which, as I've indicated, Mr. President, I think we've got a chance to pass the House with it, and I really don't think President Trump will veto it if I explain to him it's Senator Ron Johnson's bill. And I further ask that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the senator from Washington.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reserving the right to object, let me just say this. We should make sure that every federal worker gets the paycheck that they are owed. And the right way to do that is for Republicans to finally join us and get serious about passing a bipartisan CR so we do reopen the government and prevent healthcare costs from exploding. Instead, the bill that the senator from Louisiana is asking for unanimous consent for actually lets Donald Trump and Russ Vought decide who they want to pay during a shutdown, and that will allow them to stiff everyone else. President Trump has said he will only pay the people he wants to. He literally said, and I quote, "We're going to take care of our people. There are some people who really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way," unquote. This bill would actually let Trump do exactly that. Mr. President, we should make sure all of our workers get paid, not just the workers Trump likes. So the best way to do that is for, of course, Republicans to sit down with us as Democrats, work out a solution to reopen the government. If instead you do as the senator from Louisiana suggests here, then at a minimum, it should cover all employees. And that proposal is out on the table with Senator Van Hollen and Senator Peters. Thank you, Mr. President. For that reason, I object.
Objection is heard. Chair recognizes the senator from Louisiana.
Mr. President, look, I get it. You know, this is why we're in a shutdown. I just proposed a bill, it was my third choice, but it was better than nothing, to say everybody gets paid. And my good friend from Washington State objected. I don't know what else to do. I voted 14 times to open up government. I can't change the election. President Trump was duly elected President of the United States. He was, in a free election. And the American people spoke. And some of my colleagues are upset about that. In fact, they hate the president so much, they've shut down government. They hate him so much that if President Trump came out in favor of breathing to live, they would hold their breath. It's not rational. And I just don't know what else to do. All I can tell my Democratic friends is, look, reasonable people disagree, and I get it. But you're just being too emotional. You need to go drink a big, old, cold, tall glass of get over it and realize that President Trump is the President of the United States. Don't shut government down because of it. Mr. President, you've been really patient. And even though the parliamentarian tried to get you to dodge my questions, you answered them straight up, and I really appreciate it. With that, I yield. No, I suggest the absence of a quorum.
Kennedy, in his typical down-home style, tried to paint this as a simple issue. Democrats, he claimed, just need to get over the fact that Donald Trump was elected. But this isn't about hurt feelings. It's about real people, real consequences, and real harm being done because of partisan brinkmanship. Think about that for a moment. The president, the same president who has repeatedly targeted political opponents, punished dissent, and shown favoritism toward his allies, would be granted the power to determine who deserves a paycheck in the middle of a government shutdown. That's not governance, that's selective justice. That's pay for loyalty politics. Murray was right to stand her ground. The fair and constitutional way to end a shutdown is simple. Reopen the government. Don't play favorites. Don't hold working families hostage while pretending to care about them. Behind the back and forth on the Senate floor is a broader truth that too many Americans feel every time this happens. Federal workers, real people with families, mortgages, and grocery bills, become pawns in a partisan standoff. They're labeled non-essential not because their work doesn't matter, but because politicians can't agree. The janitors who clean federal buildings, the scientists keeping our food safe, the park rangers guarding our natural treasures, they're the ones paying the price for Washington's dysfunction. And when Kennedy dismissively says Democrats should drink a big old cold, tall glass of get over it, it's not just a cheap line. It's a window into a mindset that refuses to take responsibility. It's easier to mock your opponents than to acknowledge the human toll of your own party's inaction. But Democrats, led by voices like Senator Murray, are insisting on something deeper: accountability and equality under law. Every worker deserves their paycheck, not just those who the president likes. Every American deserves a government that functions, not one that collapses under political ego. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. This isn't just about paychecks. It's about whether we allow the executive branch to consolidate more power, to pick winners and losers, while Congress, the branch designed to check that power, steps aside. Senator Murray's objection wasn't obstruction. It was defense. Defense of the rule of law, defense of working people, defense of balance in government. So, when you hear a line like, "get over it," ask yourself, get over what exactly? Should we get over abuse of power? Should we get over the government failing to meet its responsibilities to the people? Should we get over the idea that fairness and transparency still matter in a democracy? If anything, we should do the opposite. We should not get over it. We should demand more from those in power. We should insist that leadership means service, not sound bites. Because this moment is about more than partisan jabs. It's about defining what kind of country we are. Are we a nation where leaders use their positions to punish those who disagree? Or are we a nation where government exists to serve every American, not just the chosen few? And that's what Democrats like Patty Murray are fighting for, a government that works for everyone, not just those with the president's approval. So, as we watch this ongoing struggle in Congress, let's remember, real patriotism isn't blind loyalty to a party or a president. It's loyalty to the people, to justice, to fairness, to the Constitution. And that's worth standing up for every single time. If you believe in fairness, in democracy, in government that serves all people, not just a select few, speak up, stay informed, vote in every election, hold leaders accountable. Because democracy isn't something we get over, it's something we fight to protect, together.